Hi, hello everybody. Welcome to chapter 18 of Bookmarked. Today we're going to be talking about book covers and we are joined by a very, very special guest. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Yes, sure. Hi, everybody. I'm Spencer, and I'm from the channel CommonSpence, and I'm so excited to be here today with some of my favorite booktubers on one of my favorite live shows ever, talking about one of my favorite things ever, which is graphic design and book covers. I couldn't be more excited. Thanks so much for having me. Can't wait.
Thank you for joining us. We're so excited that you're here. So we're just going to start off by talking about the books that we are currently reading. So, Spence, would you like to start what you're reading?
Sure.
What are you
I am currently in the middle of An Absolutely Remarkable Thing by Hank Green, which I am reading as a part of Contemporary-a-thon. So loving it so far. Still more to go, but I know a lot of people here are big fans of this one. So I'm like so excited to keep going.
Who's next?
I'll go next. I just wanted Spence to start.
Yeah.
So I just finished reading The Gilded Wolves by Roshni Chokshi. I finished this last night. Wasn't a fan. Controversial opinion. Yeah, I didn't like it, and I'm really, really disappointed. So that was sad. But I started reading. Well, I'm still reading The Truth About Keeping Secrets. You guys can see if you watch all of these live shows that I literally will read a book for months because I just won't touch it after I read a few pages for a while. But I did actually start like reading a little bit more this time. And then I also started reading Graceling by Kristen Cashore, and I love this so far. Like, I've been wanting to read this for so long, and I haven't, and I finally picked it up, and I really like it. So, yeah.
Excellent.
Hailey,
you can go. Yeah. I don't know the order anymore. You got me all messed up. Okay, it's fine. I'm still reading King of Scars. I just have been a lazy person. And then I also started Renegades this morning because I finished my audiobook at work. So I was listening to Circle of Shadows by Evelyn Skye, and I finished that. And then this was the only other audiobook I had on my phone. So gonna listen to that and hopefully I will like it.
Woo! Okay, so I am currently, I just finished earlier today, Josh and Hazel's Guide to Not Dating by Christina Lauren. It's my first Christina Lauren book, and it was far steamier than I was expecting. Very explicit, but, not bad. I read it on Valentine's Day, and I was all alone reading it, but, it gave me what I needed. I recommend it.
What a mood.
Yeah. So now we have 4 different books that we want to share, 4 different book covers. Let's start with our favorite book covers. I think that'd be good.
Okay.
Spencer, would you like to start?
I will start. Okay, so I have 2 because you guys know me, I'm extra. I couldn't possibly just pick one. Actually, I have like 17, but we're just going to do 2. So the first one is probably not as like wow factor, but I feel like people associate this book with me, so it would be stupid not to say it. And that is A Darker Shade of Magic by Victoria Schwab. I really, really love this whole series. I just really love the color palette of all of Victoria Schwab's books. They're so unified. And this series in particular has such a distinct illustration style. Every time I see it, it makes me happy. But then I went through my shelves and I was looking for like just straight up what is the most beautiful book cover that I think I own. And I think that it has to be The Hazel Wood by Melissa Albert. This is such a beautiful book. This is one of the first books I ever bought after starting my BookTube channel. So like fond memories, but also just the foiling and the detailing. It's just stunning. Every time I see it, I'm like taken aback by how gorgeous it is. So definitely those 2 are some of my faves.
I would like to go next.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, sorry. You can go too, Hailey.
There was a silence, so I was just picking up on the silence. Hannah can go. I'll just sit here and die.
Okay, I also have a million favorite ones because I couldn't pick one. But you'll see a common thread amongst most of them. First, I'm going to start off with one that's like obvious, kind of like you. I feel like I can't not show this book because it's associated with me so much. But that's The Night Circus, specifically this Halloween edition, which is like inverted. This one's white, the regular one is black with white text. And it has red sprayed pages. So it's like overall just so pretty. And then all of my other favorite covers have one thing in common, and that is gold foil. So like this copy of Rebecca, I really, really like the look of gold foil. So we have this one, and then Strange the Dreamer in this like beautiful UK hardcover edition that also has sprayed pages because I love sprayed pages. And then also we have Caraval in the UK edition as well. Another common thread, the UK covers. I tend to like them more. And it has like the black and white. It looks really cool on the shelf. And then also
Undress it.
Oh yeah.
Take it off.
Oh, the thing's falling out.
Oh,
so pretty. I love this.
We love a reveal.
Yeah.
Love an undressing here live.
Yes.
And then the last one that I also really love is the original cover, which is so tragic that they don't have this anymore, of The Diviners by Libba Bray, because this is so beautiful.
Yes!
Another one that I absolutely have to undress because
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
Gorgeous. Like,
Stunning.
why did they change these covers? I will never know. But
choices. Oh god. I also have a ton here, but I was going to talk about the Hazelwood, but you already did it for me. So
oh, sorry.
we're cutting back. No, it's fine. I already have so many. I have so many. The Price Guide to the Occult by Leslie Walton. Did not. Yeah, I like the cover. Didn't really like the book that much, but that's the thing. Oh, it has sprayed edges too. Yeah, so that's fun. Ink by Alice Broadway.
Ooh.
Gorgeous. Enjoy it. I really like when they're shiny because I'm apparently like a squirrel. Furthermore by Tahar Mafi, also enjoy. Beautiful. I like really busy covers is what I notice about my taste. Wicked Like a Wildfire, also gorgeous. And then An Enchantment of Ravens by Margaret Rogerson. This is like my dream cover for Book of Sisters. It is gorgeous. I love it.
Well, I only picked one because, those were the rules that I set out, and then everybody ignored me, except myself.
Rules are to be broken.
Well, I haven't read this book yet. I know the trailer just came out, so I'm planning on reading it soon. It's been on my TBR shelf for since it came out. But I love this. This is actually, I think it was actually done by hand, and then they took a picture of it because I saw a time lapse of it on Twitter right after this book came out of them actually doing all of the string, and it was astounding. So I love just how detailed it is when you actually get up really close to it. I don't think you can tell, but wow, it's colorful. It's textured too. I love textured covers, and especially when the paperbacks are kind of rubbery. I'm not sure if whatever texture that is.
I know what you mean. Like
those are the best. I love the feel of a book.
I agree.
What about the books we don't like cover wise?
We don't like the covers?
Mm-hmm.
So is this a book that we didn't like, just didn't like the cover, right?
It's the worst cover. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I was going through my shelves and I kind of had a hard time. We were talking about this before. Like I kind of had a hard time finding like any that I really hated. So one that kind of stuck out to me as one that I just didn't particularly like a lot was Foolish Hearts by Emma Mills. I haven't actually read this one yet, but it's kind of like this. I don't know how much you can see. It's like almost looks like it's been embroidered, but it's really colorful, but it just doesn't really tell me anything about the story. So I have like no idea really what it means. Although I was looking at the back, I don't know if you guys can see that, but it does kind of match her other cover.
Her next one that's coming out matches.
I get it, but I don't know. Maybe when I read the story, I'll like be like, it'll make more sense to me, but just as a cover, not my fave.
I also had a hard time finding like ones that I don't like on my shelves because for the most part, I feel like I've kept the ones that I do like, or if they sell them in multiple editions, I buy the one I like way more. So I couldn't think of like too many that I really don't like. Oh, wait, actually, I just thought of one. 1 second. 1 second.
Amazing. Well, while she's doing that, oh no, she took so. You're so quick. Speedy Magoo! Speedy Magoo is back!
My title.
The Kiss of Deception by Mary E. Pearson. I actually don't really like any of these covers. I just don't like people on the cover. It's one of my biggest pet peeves. Sometimes it's done well because sometimes like it works with the story and it works with like the art they choose. But this is like so like 2012
like
YA fantasy.
Obsidian, all of Jennifer L. Armentrout's.
Yeah. So it's a lot. And I don't like this one.
At least you can't see the face.
That's true.
No.
That is one of the pluses of this cover, but still.
This face is so much worse. Mine is The Cruel Prince by Holly Black. Ooh, controversy. This
I
cover
like
does
it.
nothing for me. Nothing. It does
It's
absolutely
boring.
nothing for me. It's very boring. No, it doesn't do anything for me. So, sorry.
Well, I have one that a lot of people in the chat have also been agreeing with me with. Vampire Academy, all of them, bad, terrible. And then they redesigned them too, and they're even worse because it just says like Vampire Academy over the face. They didn't even get rid of the face. It's just in the background, kind of blurred. Why does this look like vampires to you? None of them even have fangs on the back. Who did this? No.
Have you read those?
I've read all of them. Thank
okay.
you very much. And I had no idea it's kind of like Twilight too. Like they're all symbolic, so you can't really understand what the book. You don't look at the apple and think vampires, but at least it's symbolic. This is just
That's a girl.
Yeah.
That's a chick like, what?
Yeah, like
You know?
me, a vampire.
Yeah.
No.
Look going, oh. Yeah, that's what it is.
What about a book we love that has a terrible cover?
Okay, this one actually was pretty easy for me because I absolutely love The Perks of Being a Wallflower by Stephen Chbosky. But this cover, like, there is no cover. Like, there's this little picture in the corner, but I'm like, what? Who? I don't know. It's just green and it's brown, and I have a lot of questions. Like, I literally Googled this because I was like, was there like a reason for this? Found nothing. No, nothing. Love this book. Don't like this cover.
I completely agree with that. I didn't even think of that one. I love that book too, but that cover makes no sense for the story.
It's so hard.
No, it's like there's like no humanity to it, and it's such a human story.
I feel like there's a different cover for that book. I think it might be one of the UK covers where like
it's black and red and stuff.
No, I think there's one that's blue, if I remember it right. And it looks like it has like a letter or something on it, and that makes sense for the story.
There's also one that has like a silhouette of a face and like the person being a wallflower. Like that one's much prettier.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I know the black and red one too.
Okay,
I thought it was making it up. Words on it.
Yeah, like no, yeah.
Yeah, that makes way more sense. But like that cover, I have the same one. It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, I have no idea what it's about.
It catches your attention.
I mean, it is a unique color. Like, I don't see a lot of chartreuse. So, okay.
That's the only reason.
Sure.
I had to go with, I agree with The Perks of Being a Wallflower, but I have to go with this one because I'm still upset about it, and that's Layer of Dreams. I love this book so much. I love the whole Diviner series, but why did you go from this to this? What is this? This is
I feel like that's me as I grow up. Going from cute to boot.
Oh my gosh. It's just literally just like very large, bold text. And then a tunnel / it's literally just a tunnel. It's not even a layer.
Yeah, what?
Like, what is this? This tells me nothing. Like, this is so beautiful. Why did you do this? I mean,
it doesn't even match stylistically.
No.
It doesn't even look 1920s.
No, and this one, that's why this was so good. You got so much out of this, and then this just like this looks like any other YA fantasy. Like, still mad.
Tunnel of Dreams.
Literally.
Tunnel of Bland.
That was the working title.
Yeah, there you go. What about you, Hailey?
I went with Wonder Woman Warbringer by Leigh Bardugo. Like, this cover isn't necessarily horrible. I don't really have any that, or at least any that come to mind. I'll probably be going and editing my bookshelf tour and be like, could have used that one, but this is the only one I can think of right now. I'm not a huge fan of the cover, and I totally see what they're doing. It's just not my style of cover. It's very like superhero-esque, and I get that. It's just not my style is the thing. So that's the one that I could think of.
I get that. Yeah. Mine was The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo, one of my favorite books of all time. But this doesn't really convey any of the themes. I mean, you have the dress, that's her signature color, but what? I don't think, she's a movie star. She's just some like mannequin. What? Hannah likes it, but I'm really judging her taste right now.
Wow.
You think they'd have more with like movies. There's like one palm tree in the corner. That's all you get of LA.
That's all you need to know is that one palm tree and that green dress. That's it.
And then a book that you didn't like, but it has a good cover. So we're bitter. Do we have any of those?
Well, if bitter is the mood, I think we all might be able to guess what I'm going to pull out, and that is The Surface Breaks by Louise O'Neill. If you don't know, I hate this book more than any other book. I made a whole video about it on my channel, so I'm not going to go into why. But this cover is like, look at this. It's shiny, shimmery, splendid. It's so pretty, and I was so excited. It was our group read for a readathon we were doing, and then it was awful. Like, that's unfair. I would rather have a good book with a bad cover than a bad book with a good cover. Because, like, this is just, it doesn't deserve to be this pretty. You know what I mean? Not my thing. Not my thing.
Your glove.
Yeah. Every time I touch it, it's like a Horcrux. I can't let it touch my skin. It's like, I have to remain, there's nuclear radiation here. So, you know.
Quarantine it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm going to get one of those little Annabelle boxes for it. And just keep it on my shelf.
Oh my god.
I hate it so much.
I have one too, and I don't like despise this book with every fiber of my being. I just didn't like it. Like, I just thought it was really boring and overhyped, and that is Uprooted by Naomi Novik. But this cover is so gorgeous. Like, it's so pretty. I don't know if you can see like all the gold foil on it, but all of this is gold foil, like all the little accents. And it's so, so pretty. And when you take the dust jacket off, it's like this mint green underneath.
No.
Like, it's just so pretty.
I love it.
Zoe just clutched her pearls. Like, she could not. No.
Oh, but yeah, it's such a pretty book. And sadly, I didn't like it. I've literally held on to it just because I like the cover so much. I would have gotten rid of it if I didn't like it.
I have never seen that cover before. Like, this is my first time. And that is so much prettier than like the original cover too. Like,
it's out of print. That's why.
Why did they do that? Why did they take the best cover and be like, nope, no more. Let's print the bad one. I don't get it.
They wanted to sell less books. It was just getting too much. You know?
We got to cool down on the sales, guys. Got to reel it in. Too much money coming in. Too much.
Amazing. I went with Words in the Deep Blue by Kath Crowley. It's about a bookstore. I hated the book. I didn't hate it. It wasn't very good. It just was a book. It happened. But it has different book covers that are open and closed, and it's just so like geometrically pleasing to me. And how the font is on there, I'm like, yeah. So that's mine.
That's it. I like that. I love blue. It's my favorite color.
Yeah, I don't even really like blue that much, but I like that one.
I didn't like the book Don't Like Blue, but this is right up my alley. So
apparently.
I had trouble coming up with one for this because I just unhauled a bunch of books. I haven't made a video of it. They're just in the other room, so I don't want to go through them. But I got the special edition of Lord of Shadows, and Lord of Shadows is my least favorite of the books, so I don't know why I did that, but here we go. It's so pretty. It's a special edition. I ordered it from the UK, and then it happened, so I'm bitter now. Wasted a lot of money on that. I love that. Oh, gosh. We have a lot of questions from the Twitter questions that we had. Or actually, should we go through the poll first?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Okay. So I made a bunch of polls because I'm getting really into polls right now. So I want to know all of your answers. I put together 5 polls and 1,000 people answered. Thank you so much.
Wow.
I know. Whoa. So the first poll was, will you pay extra for a prettier edition of an anticipated or favorite book? 83% said yes, which is unsurprising because I have all those editions of Pride and Prejudice, and Hailey has 1,005 copies of Alice in Wonderland.
No, I don't.
Only like 83.
I don't know. I haven't counted in a while.
Oh. Poll number 2 was, have you purchased a book based solely on the cover? 71% said yes. Poll number 3, do you own multiple copies of the same book with different covers? Only 52% of people said yes, which was very surprising. Yeah, you get out of here. A lot of people have copies of Hazelwood, The Night Circus. We obviously have some Cassandra Clare in there as well. And the 4th poll, would a mid-series cover change discourage you from buying the rest of the series? 27% said yes, 49% said no, and 24% said we'll buy all new covers. So
I'm part of that. That's me.
bad data. Hide that from the publishers. They do not need that information. That is not good data.
And our last poll was, what is your favorite style of book cover design? 74% said illustrated, which I very much agree with. That's my favorite. Only 4% said portrait, so we need to get people off of book covers because no
one likes people. So why are you going to want people on your book cover? You know, like we're antisocial.
Get
the people off of my book cover. Exactly. Don't make me look at a person every time I go to open my book. No, thank you.
No,
God.
not today.
But someone said in the replies that they are more likely to pick up a book with a person on the cover, a photograph of a person, than an illustrated person, which I thought was very interesting because I'm the opposite. I'd rather it be a fake person because I'm reading about fake people. Just make it very fake. Thank you. And then 12% said photographic. So, you know, photographs. And then 10% said text. So like Turtles All the Way Down with all of the text on it. But I love that 74% of people want illustrations. I feel like that is the tide turning with others as well.
I think publishers are seeing that. They're like definitely looking at what people are saying and what people are buying, which wow, smart business decisions. What? But like that's why I feel like it's harder to pick a book that you don't like the cover of because the cover game has been very strong recently, which is not good for my bank account because I am weak.
Same.
It's a struggle.
That's a mood.
So we have a lot of questions. Well, the first one from Jermaine Roxanne. Do you judge a book by its cover? Let's just start it off there. Okay. End of question. Next question.
Check. Moving on.
I'm such a visual person. Like that will honestly keep me from picking up a book because I don't want to buy something that's going to be ugly. I like pretty things. I'm so superficial apparently. But like, I mean, my shelf, it has to look nice on my shelves. That's why they're rainbow. It's got to like, I don't know. I'm very picky about covers and it needs to be something that I like. And if I don't like it, I'm not going to want to pick it up. Plus, that's my first impression. It's everyone's first impression. So a good cover is almost more important than the title to me.
I actually would agree with that. I think the cover plays a huge role in the validity that we as readers give a story. For example, I one time read a case study from a self-published author. And with her book, she launched it with just a cover that she made herself. And then she later had it redesigned by like a professional book design agency. And it cost a pretty penny to have it made. But she said once she did that, all she did was change the cover and her sales increased, I think she said like 37%. Wow. So when we look at books, like we as readers know what publishers are putting out. We know what looks like it's been considered, you know? So when we see a book that doesn't look like it's been given enough attention, then we think, and even if it's subconscious, I feel like you are going to think maybe it's not as exciting as I hope it will be.
Do you have anything to say, Hannah?
I mean, yeah, I completely agree with that as well. I think that I agree, more important than the title in a lot of ways, especially in terms of when you go into a bookstore and then you just like look around, there's so much to take in visually that you have to have something that's going to catch your eye. So yeah, I think it's a huge factor in it. And I think publishers are definitely noticing more and more since the covers have been getting a lot better recently.
I mean, we do this with movies, like when we go to the movie theater and we see all of the art. We do this with like even YouTube, like thumbnails. It just gives us the tone of what people are going for. So I mean, I think you might be lying if you say that I don't judge a book by its cover. I picked up books just because of the cover, and I've put off reading books because I'm like, it's not really nice looking. So I'm just gonna leave that there.
I mean, I feel like a bad cover wouldn't dissuade me from reading a book I was really interested in. Like if someone recommended me a book and they're like, it's so good, I would still probably read it. But just like in a bookstore with no forewarning, like if I'm just judging based on covers, like, yeah, I'm going to judge it based on the cover.
I think it would take me a little bit longer to pick it up and to like, I'd have to hear multiple opinions of people being like, this is a good book, because I'd be like, I don't know if I actually trust you because it's really ugly. Struggles.
The struggle, for sure.
So another question that both of us thought of, Spencer, is what makes a great book cover? So we talked about like all the things we like in book covers. What would our ideal book cover look like? I think if it had like Easter eggs of things that happen in the book, like with the Hazelwood, was that the name of the book?
Mm-hmm.
Like just so when you're reading it, you can go like maps in books too. Like you can refer back to it and it gives you more insight into what you're reading. Yeah, that's so like it just
like the gates are a part of the story, and obviously there's like a dagger. Like there's little things that once you read it, you can go back and be like, okay, and here's the city, you know, which is like fusing these two sides. Very cool.
Oh. So what
Sorry, I ran away.
Oh yeah, bye. See you.
Someone asked where my tiny hands were.
Oh, no, they came
I had
back.
to go and get them, and then I could only find one, and I couldn't have just one tiny hand. I have to have two. Thank you for your concern about my tiny hands. There will be a reading retreat featuring them coming soon. Oh my
I love
God.
Hannah's just like, she's full face palm right now. She just cannot.
She had to deal with these for a week.
I did.
My favorite. They had
She
to make an
pet
appearance.
My dog with the baby hands.
I've been petting the cats. They are so uncomfortable with it. They were like, excuse me, big hands only. And I'm like, no, but you're tiny. So you need a tiny hand. God.
So what I'm taking away from this is that your ideal book cover would have tiny hands on it.
Honestly. Oh my God. Oh, Twilight. It could be with tiny hands instead. You hold that apple in your tiny hands. Yes. Tiny hands. Oh
Or
my
do you
God.
need a tiny book for your tiny hands?
Wow.
Yes. Everything must be tiny for the tiny hands.
Oh my god.
Oh my God. But in all reality, I feel like my ideal book cover is just colorful and exciting to me. I feel like I just know when I like a book cover and I don't know why. So
Wow.
you're welcome.
Insight.
For
Honestly.
me, I feel like I like minimalistic covers.
Mhm.
So like Turtles All the Way Down, I really love that cover because I like the simplicity of it. I know like a lot of the ones I showed are a bit more busy, but there's still like an element of simplicity to them. So I just like, I tend to like text and then an image. So like just like bold text and one bold image that's somewhat simplistic. So I like things like that. And it would have to have gold foil because I love gold foil.
Required.
Yes.
And sprayed pages.
And sprayed pages.
I agree.
And under the cover surprises.
Yes.
Ooh.
There are a lot of design elements that need to go into it, but it
has
still
to
needs
be-
to look simplistic.
It has to be
We want to
pleasantly
do the
surprising
most,
when made.
But also the least. Yes.
Perfect. I feel like for me, one of my favorite book covers of all time is Simon versus the Homo Sapiens Agenda. And I love the style of Becky Albertalli's covers in general. And I feel like if I ever wrote a book, it would be like this. So I would be like, do that. Make it like kind of illustrated, kind of abstract, really bold colors, but like minimalistic at the same time. Like I think that's what I would want for if I wrote a book, that's what I want. But I love all different kinds of covers so much. So.
As long as they match the tone of the book,
Mhm.
then we're good. But just the ones that they completely mislead you, like Vampire Academy or something like that, where they're trying to go with the trends that are popular at the time and they're completely disregarding what the whole book is about. Yes,
Okay.
that. There you go.
This cover is 100% a trend.
I love the dramatic lighting too. Like the how they clearly
Yeah.
photoshopped it like so
She's been
much.
deceived.
Yes. And so have we by this lighting. That is not real lighting.
True.
So Spencer, did you have any more things that you wanted to? I know you're an actual graphic designer, so you know things that I am not artistic at all.
Yes, I know a thing or two. I feel like I want to just talk about one of the questions I saw was like trends right now. And there's one trend in particular that's really fascinating to me that I think some of you will be surprised because I have a fun fact about it.
Ooh.
So the current trend that I'm seeing, particularly with YA, because that's mostly what I read is YA, is 3D rendering. So I have a whole bunch of examples. They're going to come at you. King of Scars. Clearly, this image has got this 3D kind of style to it. And that one's actually physically embossed as well, so you can feel it. even this one, Seafire here, it's got this weird sort of like 3D shape. And then this one is such an interesting cover. This is Beneath the Citadel. And look at that. That like golden skull staircase is very striking. Ooh. And then let me see here. Ash Princess, another 3D crown, right? And let me see. One more here. Everless by Sarah Holland. This one also has this 3D hourglass. And so you're seeing again and again, I have literally more. I could do this for hours. So the funny thing about this though, is that every book I just showed you was illustrated by the same designer.
What?
And, yes, so if you go, I'm going to put their name in the chat because I actually don't know how to pronounce it, but it's like B-less maybe? But I think the person's name is Billy, and they do 3D art. If you go to their website, if you type that into Google, they have stunning 3D renderings that they make, and they print on t-shirts and all kinds of stuff. But every single book that I just showed you, the illustration by the same person. And I think that that is really amazing to me because we're talking about a trend. Like that is a literal trend of the same person doing this work, which is fantastic. And a lot of people probably didn't know that. So
No.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Wow.
King of Scars also looks nice naked. Let's
Yes.
undress it.
Oh, bound chicken. Wow, wow.
Oh, get
Yeah.
it. But then the back has nothing. But
That's rude.
Yeah, but why did they do that? Why did they not like commit? You know what I
honestly,
mean?
just carry it around, copy and paste.
Bring it around town.
My goodness.
I love also like embossing. We talked about foiling, but like not a lot of covers have, like, you can't really see it. Maybe you can hear it. It's like an ASMR video now. I don't know. But like when you touch it, it's like got the grooves and the ridges in it. And that's so cool.
I need there to be like some texture to my books.
I
Like those flat paperbacks. Nah.
I like when
don't
they're
do
the
that.
soft.
Yeah, like the buttery
they're-
covers.
Yeah,
it's called-
yeah, like butter.
What is it
Yeah.
called?
Touch.
So
Or-
that's actually what it's called?
I mean, usually, it depends on the printer, but like I've always seen it called soft touch, or sometimes they call it velvet matte, I think,
Ah.
because it does feel kind of like velvet a little bit. So
It does. It does.
So what are some other trends? We've seen
I feel like another one that is kind of happening right now is just really bold type. Like not a lot of illustration, not a lot of other stuff, just typography. So one really recent release is A Curse So Dark and Lonely by Bridget Kemmerer, which just has a little bit of illustration, like some branches, but then mostly it's about the title. Also, the one I'm reading right now, Absolutely Remarkable Thing, is literally just a little bit of illustration. I feel like this is a very Hannah cover. Like I feel like you would like
I
a
love
cover
that
like
cover
this.
too.
I see it.
love it.
The only reason that cover is not my favorite thing is because the text looks like the text from SpongeBob to me. So
Yes,
every
we
time I
talked
look at that
about
cover,
I am
it is-
never going to be able to unsee that.
For-
it's exactly
hours
SpongeBob to
later.
me.
Yes.
And it's like kind of greenish yellow too.
Yeah.
And here's another one. Speaking of we don't like Gilded Wolves, which apparently was a letdown. But again, bold type, some kind of, like swirly patterns, but mostly just about the type. That's another big trend lately. And I don't know why, but that's a choice, I guess. And then like we were talking about earlier, it's just illustration continues to really soar. I feel like this has now become an iconic cover. Like this is a book cover I feel like that has been seen so many places around the world. And it's so simple. It's just type, a little bit of illustration. And then I love this book and this cover, Autobiography by Christina Lauren.
So cute.
The colors are just gorgeous. It's
a great one.
sunset, love it. And then also, this is one of my favorite book covers is Sadie.
Yeah.
It's really realistic, almost like watercolor. I don't know. I'm going to get it a little closer so you guys can see better. But like, I just love the rendering in this.
I didn't realize that you could see her facial features until I like really looked at it, and I was like, "Oh God!"
I don't know if it'll focus, but like you can kind of see her eyeball.
You can see it. Yeah. Freaky.
Wild.
It really is.
But yeah, I mean, I feel like those are illustration. I feel like is an ongoing trend. Bold type is an ongoing trend. I feel like the new trend is this 3D, cool, like foiled, kind of stuff. That's I feel like has really taken over as what people are expecting. But I'm really excited to see what's going to be next because trends only last for a couple seasons. So soon enough, it'll be time for something new.
Yeah, I feel like we're also taking a departure from black covers. I feel
Oh,
like
for
people
sure.
are trying more to, especially with all the rainbow shelves, that being a popular trend of organization. But, you know, like with King of Scars, like it's gold when so many have been black in the past, like all of Six of Crows, those are just black.
Well, and another really good example of that is, I think it's called Kingdom of Ash, right? The last Throne of Glass book that just came out.
Mm-hmm.
I've not read it, so I don't really know anything about it. But like that was like bright yellow, and all
it's
the rest
bright
of them were
yellow.
like black.
It's
Which,
so ugly.
yeah, I don't like that they did that. But it's interesting that you say like there's this trend away from black covers, so they're like, let's make the last one yellow and torture everyone that's been collecting the series. But there you go. They wanted some bright colors, I guess.
So we also have one that we got from Sophie from Sophisticated Books. Is there a way of finding out the name of a certain font in a book cover? I've wondered this too, because what if you want to like write your own book, make it in
I
Harry
used an
Potter?
app before. There was like this app that I downloaded once, and it like would recognize the font if you held it up to it.
Yeah, the app would be the fastest way. You could also find the cover just on like Google Images and then like crop just to the part you want. And there's a website called, I think it's called identifont.com, and you upload an image and it'll try to guess. So even if it's not the exact one, you can usually find a close one. And also just be aware sometimes with like scripty cursive ones, like that's hand lettering. So there maybe isn't even a font that looks like that. But that would be the best way to do it, would be to probably use the app on the phone. And you also, every time, if you look in like the very back of a book, usually at the bottom, it will tell you who the designer and illustrator is. So if you ever really, really need to know, you could probably find that person and ask them if you really cared about it. But like, I feel like that's extra. That's something I would do. So if you want to be as extra as me, that's the way you could do it. Otherwise, there's lots of ways you could try to find that out.
Oh, I love that. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna write in just the Harry Potter font from now on.
Perfect. Please do.
Highly recommend.
So from Slytherin Reads on Twitter, which books do you want to see cover redesigns of? I want the Diviners to go back to what it was before.
Yes.
It will probably be redesigned again, but not to what it originally was.
I think that I think they're going to do this with like a lot of books. I think when the last one comes out, if they've changed the cover multiple times, usually if it's popular enough, they go back and redesign all of them into something completely new so that people like me will just rebuy all of them.
Well, somebody told me with the Diviner specifically, I don't know if this is true, but that there is no way to get a matching set right now. Maybe there is now. But like there was one that was like, it was only in hardcover and it's not in paperback yet. So you can't get a full matching set at all, which is a nightmare. I'm like, why would you do
for the
this?
Diviners? Yeah, for the Diviners, you can't. Like I have 3 different books for the 3 that are out right now in hardcover. And then I have the 2 books in paperback that match the 3rd book, but like you can't get those in hardcover. So the whole series can't match. So I just have 3 different books.
Apparently everyone in the chat says the Australian edition is beautiful. So that makes sense. Australia is the first, like it's the earliest in the day for them all the time. They're always ahead of the rest of the world. So Australia continues to be iconic.
We stand Australia.
Yes. Yes, mate. That was terrible. Rewind. Didn't happen.
Oh, they're interesting.
The same is also true, I just want to say, for Ember in the Ashes too, because they changed the covers and now you can't get the first 2 in hardcover to match the new covers. So they have to be paperback and then hardcover. It's very annoying for my favorite series.
They're going to publish as many editions as to be like, just keep buying it. One of these days they'll line up.
Yep.
Which other ones?
I don't know if I have any.
I remember we were kind of talking about like redesigning when there's like a series. And in this case, it's not really a series, but it's one author. And that is Radio Silence, which I know some of you guys
we've read it, yeah.
But this has now been redesigned to match what's it called? I Was Born.
I Was Born
for this.
Yeah.
They also reprinted Solitaire. So you get this like, look at this. I love this.
Yeah. I want those so badly. They're so cute.
I think I got them on Bookmarked, so shout out to them. Because so they redesigned this to match, so that, because even though this isn't a series, it's like if you love Alice Oseman, which you should, because I love Alice Oseman, but like I think that's just really interesting to me that they go back and redesigned all of her books to match on the shelf.
They're doing that with a lot of contemporaries now, I notice.
Yep.
I can't think of any specific examples right now, which is really helpful for everyone. But they are doing that. I
wouldn't lie
promise
to
I
us.
work in a bookstore. I see it. The original cover for Radio Silence, though, I hate it. That's probably my least favorite cover. It's so ugly. I'm so bored looking at it. I hate it.
I love that cover,
it's
Hailey.
so ugly.
No.
I don't want to look down some road. No.
Excuse your mouth. It is a road. It is night. It is moody. It is dark. The glare from that light is annoying me. Yeah, it's silent. It looks forlorn and mystery like.
All of these things except for silent are words you could use to describe me. Maybe why you don't like it. It's like looking in a mirror.
It is a
moody,
mirror.
Forlorn.
Hello, meet yourself. Here you go.
Oh God.
See, I like that cover of Radio Silence. I prefer like the new redesign, but the one that I really, really don't like is the one with the girl's face on the cover and then like the static and like the rainbow. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yes, I know exactly what you're talking about.
I like that one.
And I just hate every time. I think part of the reason people don't like photographs on a book cover is because I always imagine like in my head, and when there's a photograph, it's like that completely locks that out. It's like I cannot imagine the character looking different than that. And half the time they don't even match. Like they'll be like, oh, it's like they have green eyes and then the person on the cover has blue eyes. And I'm like, what is happening? Like, I hate that. I don't like that.
Yeah.
Well, Spencer, can you tell us about the cover photo shoots you were saying earlier?
What?
Like with the stock photo people?
Oh, yes. I can't. I was like, what? Yeah. Okay. So I learned when I went to an author event with the author L.L. McKinney, and this is her book, A Blade So Black. She was explaining something interesting to me. And that is that almost any time there is a new release that has a person of color on the cover, that photo shoot was specifically organized for the book. Because 9 times out of 10, if you see a person on a book, they just pull a stock photo. They find some stock photo. Yeah, like that is probably, I bet if you looked hard enough, you could find the exact stock photo that they use. So, but unfortunately with stock photography, there's not enough diversity as in the world. So usually they have to do specific photo shoots for covers that feature models of color, which is really interesting to me. And also really exciting because that means that they get to specially craft these covers. So like this one, I know how to photo shoot. Justina Ireland was also there. So this was a specific photo shoot. I remember she told me, I asked her about the design of this, and she said the only thing she told her publisher was that she wanted gold foiling and deckled edges. Because when she was growing up, she said, if you had a fancy book, it had gold foiling and deckled edges. And so that's what, and I love that. So this had a photo shoot. And the last one I know for sure was The Bells had, and then its sequel, which I think is called Everlasting Rose, maybe?
I think that's the title.
Yeah, specific photo shoots for those. So that's kind of cool. I'm sure that on some other books, like I think Gentleman's Guide, for example, has a person on it. That is probably a photo shoot. But if it's not like, I would say like a grade A, I don't know what they call them, like top tier title, they probably used a stock photo almost every time.
I know that for sorry.
For To All the Boys I Love Before, that's like definitely a photo shoot because she's been on set for the photo shoot and she has pictures of herself.
I know they also did a photo shoot for, the book's not out yet, but Chain of Gold by Cassandra Clare. With Celia. What's her name? Is her name Celia?
Cordelia.
Cordelia. There we go. Sorry, I'm thinking of the Infernal Devices. But yeah, for Cordelia, they did a photo shoot for her too on that cover.
I find that
they are like people love cover. Sorry, I just want.
It's fine.
Go ahead.
No, you're fine.
I'm sorry, I'm interrupting.
No, I was just gonna say I find that the Bells cover, I like it. What bugs me about it is when you see it in person, it's grainy.
Yeah, look at this.
Yes,
it's blurry. Like I know my webcam is blurry, but like
honestly, if you're pick it up, it's grainy. I'm interested to see if the second is going to be like that.
I don't know if that was a stylistic choice or just
if it was wrong decision.
I don't know.
The one for Chain of Gold as well, like you can barely see the model, which is very odd.
Yeah,
I mean, that's not uncommon for Cassandra Clare's books.
I mean,
I hate her
I'm
covers,
comparing
though.
it to like Infernal
Drag
Devices.
me.
Like,
I don't blame you. They're very cheesy covers.
They're so ugly. I hate them. Everyone already hates my opinions of covers, so there you go. I've said this before. I think they're so ugly. They do nothing for me. But I obviously have a very specific taste in covers that is just mine and no one else agrees with me.
and you can't even describe it because you're just like, when I know
No,
it.
it's just my brain. Just doesn't make sense.
Okay, so we have a question from Spirit. Oh yeah, Spirit Marie. What is a cover pet peeve you have? And not just like obviously people on covers, but with a book, when you hold it in your hands, what will make you not like it? I hate deckled edges. I hate them. They're so hard to read with.
I thought you were about to say deviled eggs.
I love deviled eggs. I hate deckled edges.
I love deckled edges. I don't really have a problem. I kind of like that fantasy old book vibe, but I get why people don't like them because they are messy. But then I'm messy, so like attracts like. Hey.
I don't like deckled edges either. I don't want my book to feel like it's touching me back. No. It's so
Is that
rough.
how you feel when you read a book with deckled edges?
Yeah. The baby hands come out.
Cannot relate.
Baby hands.
Oh
hands.
my
It
God.
feels like it's touching me back. It's
Next
just
time, read
so-
with
I
the
like
baby
it to be
hands so it
soft.
won't actually touch you.
I get to be soft. I don't think that's a challenge that. Oh my God, I'm dropping the book. I'm not ready to rise to it. See, I can only do so much with my baby hands. I'm exposing my real hands. This doesn't have deckled edges, but I don't want it to touch me back.
Oh my God.
No. But I think that is a pet peeve of mine is deckled edges. I don't know what else though. I guess when it's boring.
I have a pet peeve. I have a huge pet peeve, and I can't find a book that has it right now. But that thing that they do on a lot of paperbacks, where like the cover doesn't completely cover.
It's not French flap. French flap is when they do the.
You know what I'm talking
French
about.
flaps are annoying
That
too.
thing.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Thing.
Why? Poor K.
Why does that happen?
Yes.
The worst
Okay.
thing I've ever seen. I don't even know what it's
Poor
called,
K.
but it's my biggest pet
I don't know
peeve.
what it's called either. French flaps are annoying. Those, I don't have a book near me that does it, but it's when they basically, it's a paperback cover, but it's like this. So they have the flap.
Yeah,
But
I have a couple
very-
with that.
I don't like that either. But
Those are
I
really
hate when
nice.
it
Oh
doesn't
yeah. When it like folds out. Yeah, that's scary.
Yeah.
It's like, what is the point of that?
I just don't get why the cover can't completely cover the rest of the pages of the book. Like, why? Why? You
literally
had to
called
like
the
save
cover.
this much paper? Like,
showing some
Paper
leg.
is expensive. They're on a budget.
They were very much on a budget for this book. What is this? I hate well, people are saying in the chat as well, stickers on books, but like the permanent stickers, like soon to be a major motion picture, like the ones that look like you can prime off, but you can't because it's part of the cover. Why?
I got like a signed edition of some book that had this big stupid sticker on it that said like signed edition. And when I tried to pull it off, it like left all this residue. It looked horrible. And it was one of the Three Dark Crowns books. So those are very like minimalistic. So you could really see it. I was like, why would you put stickers on these? Why? I don't get that.
I don't have this problem because Chapters has the best stickers. They come off so smoothly.
That's true.
It's just
If you're
like
stickers, do high quality vinyl.
Yes.
Like, none of this cheap stuff. I'm with that. I'm with you on that.
I guess that I saw something on Twitter recently where Barnes & Noble is now doing their exclusive editions. The stickers on them are not to be taken off. Like you can't get them off anymore. They're like super sticky, and someone tweeted it and was like, what is this? And they replied and were like, oh no, we want these stickers to, like, they're not meant to be taken off.
That's
I'm not buying
rude.
a Barnes & Noble exclusive edition anymore because like
Oh my
I don't
God.
need a sticker on my book cover.
And they put them like in the middle of the book too. They put them
Yeah.
like covering like the author's name. Like we're more important than the author.
I feel like that doesn't make any sense because Barnes & Noble is like, come buy books with us and not other people. But at the same time, they're like, also, you can't take your stickers off because we don't want you to. So, okay,
But
cool.
like, let's be honest, where do people buy books from another major bookseller besides Barnes and Noble? Like, in person, I mean. Like,
Right.
Yeah, in person. Yeah.
They drive to Canada for chapters.
Hell yeah.
Road trip.
Come see me.
Okay, so we have some more. If you have any more questions, let us know in the chat. I'm just going through old Twitter questions right now. But we have one from M from Common Happiness. What are your thoughts on UK versus US covers? I love that the UK. Oh, yeah, you have a bunch of videos all about covers.
I love it.
But the UK, they release in paperback first.
Mhm.
Thank you. God bless the
but
UK.
not always. And it's very annoying when they do it with like a series where you just want to buy the paperback one so it matches your other ones.
Mhm.
Like they don't do it with An Ember in the Ashes. So they just released A Reaper at the Gates in hardback. So I wanted to buy the paperback so I could get a matching paperback set of those books. But you have to wait until like April for the paperback to come out or something.
UK paperbacks are horrible though.
They're very stiff. It's very
They don't.
frustrating.
I want my book to flop around like a dead fish. I need that sound. That is like a mating call to me. Yes, please.
I'm not you because you've been talking about touching the books, and I don't know what's going on over there, but it is a lot.
It was a lonely Valentine's Day. I cannot. Zoe is so done with me. She has had enough. Look at that.
I'm in the chat now. I'm not talking to you anymore.
No, come back.
I literally cannot stand UK paperbacks. Like, I have one.
This one's a UK paperback. Look at that.
No,
It's calling to you.
What am I supposed to do with that? No.
Nice on it too.
That's so tragic. I just hate it so much. Like, they make you crack the spine. I don't want to crack the spine. Don't force me into things I'm not ready for. That's it.
You
That's
just don't want to be touched, but you
No.
don't want to be around people. You just
doesn't
want
wanna
to be
see
with you and your baby
people.
hands.
None of
I
it.
don't know what's happening anymore.
I don't know either. I do love comparing UK and US covers though. I find it so fascinating to look at covers around the world and compare them. And UK and US, that's one of my favorite videos to do. I just love comparing them all the time. I don't know which I like more though, because I feel like I have a pretty even mix usually of liking US and UK, but I think for the most part I actually do tend to go more towards the US because UK ones are very simple and I don't like that.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I like the UK ones more for the most part, because I really like the simple minimalistic look, and a lot of them are way more minimalistic.
We have opposing opinions on absolutely everything.
I feel like a lot of times I don't know if this is like controversial, but I feel like a lot of times the American edition or the US edition tends to look like kind of trashier. Like I feel like the UK one
I see
always more sophisticated, like it has a British accent, you know what I mean? And then American is like we're just like garbage. And I'm like, this actually feels appropriate. But like I feel like what the classic example is for me is always Strange the Dreamer. Like I think Hannah, you had this one earlier, right?
Yeah.
I love this. It's one of my favorite covers of all time. And this behemoth.
Ew,
what?
So ugly.
This is like looks like a design 101 project. I'm sorry, but like what? How did the same book have these? Don't look at me. Look at these. I can't. I don't understand.
Well,
It's
they
like-
realized with their paperback release, they changed to this cover design for the US cover because with different text, but like it's essentially the same cover because it's so much nicer than the US cover.
Thank goodness somebody came to work that day. They were like, excuse me, has anyone logged onto the internet in the past 10 years? Because this is not happening. Ugh. Here's a question, just like a brief, I know we're kind of getting late on time, but like lately there's been a lot of discussion about the Nevernight UK hardcover. Like it's out of print and they're supposedly talking about reprinting it, but some of those have been selling for like $3,000 or something
I saw
crazy.
that.
And so my question is, would you what? I don't even know what my question is, but like, how do you feel about that? How about that? 'Cause I feel like that is insane.
Spend your money somewhere else. Donate your money.
Yes, that is like
Sell
you
it for
could
$3,000.
Girl, sell it.
$3,000 now.
You are sitting on so much money.
Well,
This
actually,
is a parody infomercial.
that's true of this edition of Uprooted too. I've had so many people ask me like where I got this, and then I one time checked, I think, Abe Books, and they were selling this for like a few $100s, and I was like,
Yes.
why?
Because it goes out of print and people want it so badly. And a lot of times it's like they want to complete their set, which I can relate to. I understand that. But I feel like that's crazy.
That is
And
ridiculous.
I feel like publishers should step in because like they're missing out on revenue. Because it's just independent sellers that are selling it then, you know? It's like, get in there and print them and people will buy them.
Yeah.
Hannah, sell them and pay for your college tuition. There you go.
Yes.
Yeah.
Got it.
Done.
I would never pay more than like not even like $40 for a book.
Someone said,
only if wait, what did you say? Huh?
Someone said the only book I would ever buy for $3,000 is the Bible that Jesus himself touched.
Amen, Luli Hernandez.
Yes. Now that I feel like that would be worth more than $3,000, but like I'm with you. I'm with you on that.
Yeah, that would be a bargain.
A bargain. What a steal.
Wow.
Sale. It's on clearance.
But the only reason that something should be more than like $30 is if it's like one of those illustrated Harry Potter ones. Like when it's an actual experience to read, those take a lot of time and effort into them. So yeah, I'm gonna give them more money because also I go on a journey when I'm reading it. But if it's just like they sprayed the pages, no, I'm gonna go get a can of spray paint, go in my backyard, and go to town.
We love a DIY queen.
Honestly.
Yes.
How dare. Well, we have you mentioned in like the notes, Spencer, that you think that the influence of Bookstagram has led to prettier editions, and I totally agree with that. And like just the internet in general, people taking like shelfies and doing hauls where they're showing them to the world. They want it to look nice.
I feel like books have kind of always had a branding problem. Like they were never as cool as movies or TV shows because those are much more visual than a book. But lately, with the whole sort of influx of Bookstagram and BookTube and book blogs or just anybody that takes photos of their collections and shares them, books have become just as visual, I think. I mean, books are becoming brands, like if you think about A Court of Thorns and Roses or like a big, or even Cassandra Clare, like Shadowhunters is a brand. It's like a global phenomenon, And I think Bookstagram has played a huge role in that. And even earlier we were talking about the change of books being brighter because rainbow shelves are so popular. Like books were almost always black or gray or dark, at least most of them. And that's changed dramatically now. And I really think, rainbow shelves and that trend has played a role. I think so. I also like to believe that book designers are also book enthusiasts. So it's kind of like I feel like they also want to make things that they themselves would enjoy. So
I totally agree. And I think sorry. Who is
No,
talking?
go ahead.
Oh, I was thinking obviously the role of Harry Potter with all the merch that came from that, just think of Harry Potter World. We just went to Harry Potter World. There's so much merch based off of books that then became movies. But I think that's why they're making the Shadowhunter necklaces and the Parabatai rings that Hannah and I got. Yeah. Just people want more of an experience with their entertainment nowadays. So I think that's part of the reason. And the illustrated Harry Potters, people want things for their money.
They want to connect. They want to connect to their favorite stories and their favorite characters. So it just makes sense,
So we talked about this with the Diviners again. What is a cover redesign that you think went tragically wrong? I think that the Lux, which was Jennifer L. Armentrout's, the Lux, when they redid those, and then they were all kind of holographic in a way, and it was all white. Do you remember those? They did bind ups too. Yeah. So it was 3 books in one. It was a chunky it was a chunky one, and it was ugly. And I don't know why they did that.
I mean, everything about those books was
correct.
In my opinion.
I've talked about this one before, but we're back. I do not like this redesign. And this is an unpopular opinion. Almost everybody loves these. And good for you. I'll get you a cake. That's great. But
amazing.
This one, I feel like I need to sell you guys on why I feel this way. Look at this book, okay? and then look at it in comparison to this. These are like sisters, you know, like they hang out on the weekend, okay? And this book is like, no, she can't sit with us. You know what I mean? And like, I want them to be friends. This looks, so does this mean, is there going to be like a new version of Six of Crows? Because then we'll talk, like maybe. But until then, I want the books to look the same. And like, these have been out of print now. They don't even make these anymore. I had to like, you know, I had to dig through the internet to try to find them. And that bums me out. Like, I really love this sense of like mystery and magic with this. And this one feels, I mean, it's pretty, it's beautiful, but I don't know, it just feels too modern to me. It feels too like contemporary for such a magical story. But that's my unpopular opinion of the day, I guess.
Was that a hardcover or was that paperback? Because I have the paperback ones.
They're both hardcover.
Oh, weird. It's too shiny for a hardcover. I feel like hardcovers should be matte. Like paperbacks, I can feel like they can be a little shiny, but
I feel like the text has got like gloss on it, you know, and this one just doesn't have the same attention. And I'm like, love it. Love this book. You know what I mean?
Oh, there's also with Throne of Glass, I think that was one where they put fan art in like the special editions. And also, like with the cover, the actual jacket on the inside, when there's stuff going on those, I would pay extra for that.
Yeah, see, they do that for the exclusive editions because that's how they're getting you to buy it in the store. So they won't do that with the regular editions. They'll only do it with the store exclusives.
Crafty.
Yeah.
Oh, and Ashley from Ashley Out Page, what she does is that she takes the jacket and she actually puts it on inside out so that like you have the book. It's genius. She is a genius. But
wow,
I know.
I feel like my mind was just blown. I'm like still processing what you just said.
Honestly.
I'm like, wait, what?
Wow. But they could make so much money if they just put in like more work. But I guess it's also like more work for them.
Does anybody have the Six of Crows special edition? Where it's like,
no, not the special edition.
Where it's like the red foiling. You know what I'm talking about?
No, but I'm ordering that one.
Yeah, same. I need that in my life. I don't have it right now, but people in the chat were talking about it. I'm like, that is a beautiful book. I wish I had that one.
So do we have any last questions? Or any last remarks? I feel like we covered a good amount.
Yeah, I feel like we did the thing today. I feel like we got into this.
Did it.
And I'm proud of it. I would give us a solid A. I'm just kidding. I mean, I don't know. I just feel like my overall thoughts is like design plays such a role in our lives, you know, just in general, like from the rooms that we go into, the buildings we go into, the clothes that we wear. And I feel like I would encourage people, you know, to look at their own collections and look at your favorite covers and then ask yourself, why do I love this? And a lot of times for me, I love the story. So I in turn love the cover and I love the memories associated with that. But start thinking about, you know, why do you love what you love and why is it special to you? And then go out into the world and find more of that in all the different places.
Or make it yourself.
Yes, or make it even better. Join us as designers. We are crazy, but you can hang it.
Yeah, join you, not the rest of us. Stick figures is as best as I can do.
Stick figures could work. It could be a trend. I'm counting it now. 2019 trend. Stick figures. Watch out.
I'm gonna make Hailey's book covers. There's just gonna be one stick figure. Microsoft Paint. Here we come.
Man.
With baby hands. A stick figure with baby hands.
Now that I would pay to see. That
honestly, oh my god. No one really asked a question, but a lot of people are talking about movie covers.
Ugh, no.
My thing with movie covers is I don't like them, but they don't bug me as much as I feel like they bug everyone else because they never will and never have replaced the original cover. They're always released complimentary. You know, they're never going to get rid of the original cover. They just come out with the movie cover because there's certain people who see that the movie is coming out and then they see that there's a book cover with it. So then they'll pick up the book.
Yeah.
But it doesn't bug me that much.
I guess for me, it's just about creativity. It's like they literally just take the movie poster and then print it on the book. Like there's nothing like, for example, with The Hate You Give, they basically recreated the cover for the movie poster. Which
I like that one.
I was like, that was something that I noticed that I think that is a beautiful movie tie-in edition. I'd like that. Like maybe make it another thing. Like you already have the movie poster. So why not take the actors and do a different photo or a different setup and make it like more interesting?
Yeah.
But just do just like a little bit more, you know, like just a
Yeah.
little bit more. And maybe for me, it wouldn't be as obnoxious.
Yeah. I like the To All the Boys I've Loved Before one too, because I think it stays pretty true to the original cover as well.
Yeah.
Not in terms of the image so much, but the font and like the style of it is definitely very similar to the original.
And actually the same thing with the Love, Simon one.
Yes.
Oh,
yeah,
yeah, like
that
that.
one's
It
like
looks very
spitting
similar.
image. It's
Mhm.
it's pretty much the
So
exact same.
those are getting better too. So credit where credit is due.
Yeah.
They are getting better than these.
Yeah.
But they're always shiny. That's the worst part. That's the worst offense right there.
Yeah.
Yes.
Ugh. Glossy.
Glossy.
The
Oh.
Glossy on it.
Oh.
Hannah, do you have any final thoughts or anything?
I think we pretty much covered everything.
Yeah, we did it. Okay, so we have our booktuber of the week, who is the ever amazing Francina Simone here on YouTube. Yes, she's one of the co-hosts of Blackathon, which is happening for the entire month of February, and it's such a great thing. We also have the link to the Twitter for Blackathon down below if you want to join in. It's so great. So Francina actually wrote me a little bio earlier that I'm going to read now. If you want to know more about Francina Simone, who does some of the best discussion videos here on BookTube. Again, we have the link down below if you want to go watch her. So Francina Simone is the author of The Guardians trilogy, a young adult urban fantasy that explores the strength of love and lost. She was born in Germany, spent her childhood in the hot urban jungle of Orlando, Florida, represent, and now resides in the Rockies, where she spends more of her time far away with her characters in their quest to make the right decisions in worlds brimming with romance, moral ambiguity, and oftentimes a touch of magic. She has a YA contemporary project that she's not allowed to talk about just yet, but currently she's working on a fantasy about a girl who can walk between worlds and has to find a new destiny after failing her witch entrance exams. Ha! That sounds so good.
Give it to me.
Yes. So please check her out. Please check out Blackathon. It's just also great. But that's all we have to talk about today, folks.
Yeah. So thank you all so much for joining us. My lighting is getting super weird all of a sudden. That's what happens when you use natural light. But thank you all so much for joining us. Thank you so much, Spencer, for being here and like talking with us and giving us your insight and input. It was really wonderful having you here.
Thank you for having me. I had so much fun.
But yeah, everyone's links will be in the description box below. So make sure and go and check everybody out. And we will see you next week on Hailey's channel. No, Zoe's channel.
Oh,
It's
no.
mine. It's my channel. Oops.
I don't know what's happening.
It's my
Zoe's
channel.
channel.
We're talking about
also-
BookTube on a budget next
Yes.
week.
Yes. So yeah.
We have another collab coming out tomorrow too on each of our
Right.
channels.
Yes.
The
We have another.
Who Knows Me Better.
Yes, Bookish Who Knows Me Better. So we'll see which one of us knows the other two better.
Dun, dun, dun.
But thank you all so much for joining, and we will see you next week. Bye.
Bye.